everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how I got this cute, girly, pink glitter mermaid flower set. So keep watching and I'll explain the steps I used to achieve this look. To start, I've already removed most of our old set and prepped. The bonder I use is Elite Power Base. I'm starting with Glam & Glitz Pink Me or Else at the tip. This is a pretty bright pink, and I'm using my number 10 Ugly Duckling brush. I'm placing a small bead at the free edge and cleaning off my brush from monomer and using the tip to gently feather the color up the nail plate. This nail will be ombreed and encapsulated, so the colors need to be thin to start, so you may need to build up to create a nice ombre blend. I'm using Thalia at the cuticle, pushing it slightly back and pushing it up towards the cuticle to give it a flush and thin cuticle area. This color has a slight shimmer to it, making it super easy to blend with Pink Me or Else. I'm applying thin and feathering this lightly with the tip of my brush down to the tip color. I'm now applying a tiny bead of Pink Me or Else where I want the colors to blend with a wetter consistency. I'm working it around with the very tip of my brush and repeating with Thalia as well until the colors blend nicely. For this nail, I'm doing encapsulated flowers using my favorite Glam & Glitz color Beyond Pale, double dipped with Thalia. I'm using my Ugly Duckling 3D brush, and this brush is amazing for creating 3D. 3D is about patience and the brush you're using, as well as practice and skill, but I strongly believe that having a good brush makes a huge difference. I place a small double-dipped bead where I want to make my first petal, wipe it off once, and push in the middle of the petal using the belly of my brush. I dip back into monomer and wipe off my brush and make sure that my brush is flat, but still pointy. Then I push using the belly of my brush all around with a light, gentle pressure. Be patient with your petals and try not to add any extra monomer into them. The first petal should be as flat as you can make it on the sides because it will be overlapped with the second and the last petal. So you want them to be matte before adding a second petal or they may bleed into each other and create a huge mess, then you'll have to start over. See how I'm holding my brush? The tip of my brush will always point towards the center of the flower. Don't use the tip of your brush to create the petal, always just the belly of your brush. So if you need to flip your client's hand or move your hand in an uncomfortable position in order to keep the brush in the right place, then do it. For this flower, I'm only adding 3 petals. The second petal I place and again I wet my brush off. Push into the petal and push the sides out. The left side of this petal will overlap my first petal, so it will have a more realistic overlapped side, and the right side needs to be a bit flatter as that one will be overlapped by the last petal. For middle petals, you can now use the tip of the 3D brush. I place a bead half the size or smaller than the outside beads and push straight into it and swirl it around, leaving the center empty. I apply a super small bead in the middle and let that dry. I then push it in with the very tip of my brush to create the center. So now I'm just adding another rose the same way I did before, so you guys can just watch that and see if there's anything else you can pick up from this next rose. For the rest of the nail, I'm just applying some glitter to fill in the gaps. For the middle finger, I'm using Thalia again. I apply a bit further back on the nail plate, and using the tip of my brush, I push the color close to the cuticle and try to make it flush without getting acrylic on the skin at all, or that causes lifting. This color I applied with a medium liquid to powder ratio as it's not a grainy color. I use the tip of my brush to pull the color down the sidewalls, and the belly of my brush to pull the color down the middle to the tip. For this nail, I'm going to be applying a net imprint, so I allow the color to go matte but still be wet. I place her finger firmly on this little stand I got from eBay, and I dip my net in clear acrylic. Then pull the net over her nail and firmly push it in. I try not to move it, and to get it out, I wet the net with a little bit of monomer and gently peel it away. I'm applying glitter around the cuticle and tip. For her pointer finger, I'm ombreing the two colors again, but it doesn't need much or any blending in the middle, as I'll be covering it with a glitter swirl. The glitter mix I mixed is Glam & Glitz Nova with Glitter Heaven Australia's Strawberry Sundae. For the thumb, I'm covering it with Pink Me or Else. This is one of the Glam & Glitz colors, that marble white. But if you play with it enough, you can mix the white in and make it more of a solid look. Some of Glam & Glitz colors are really pigmented, so I'm covering this dark blue color up with this pink, and it's doing a pretty good job. The two glitters I'm adding here are Nova and Strawberry Sundae again. I'm just adding Nova at the cuticle and Strawberry Sundae at the tip. I'm encapsulating this entire nail before all the other ones because I'm doing a net imprint on this one. So you'll want to apply your clear over top of the whole nail that's not completely dry yet, and that'll make it a bit easier for you to push your net imprint in it. When applying your net imprint, you want to make sure the clear acrylic has gone matte, but not dry. Place your thumb on the stand again and carefully push the net down into it. This time this net imprint will be filled with Taliah, the excess will be filed off and reveal a pretty pink net imprint. So now I'm just applying my clear acrylic to encapsulate all of these nails. I put a bead a little bit further back from the cuticle and then use the tip of my Ugly Duckling No. 10 brush and push the clear up towards the cuticle. I use the tip of the brush to pull down the sidewalls and the belly to create an apex and cover the tip. I pull with a very light hand and gentle pressure to glide the acrylic along the nail where I want it without making any air bubbles or taking it all off. For the encapsulated flower nail, I apply in more than one ball and much wetter than normal so you don't create any bubbles over the flowers. For finished filing, I always use my fine gold cone carbide to debulk the nail around the cuticles and sidewalls. I try to apply my acrylic so that I have minimal finish filing to do at the end. I've showed this on my page many times and have a few videos of this already, so I'll link them at the end of the video or in the description box. After I've debulked, I come back with my hand file and make nice sharp sidewalls and the tip. And then I go back over the top of the nail to smooth out any scratches and make it even. I finish off with a white buffing block to smooth it out even more and spray with 99% alcohol and wipe off all the dust. So now I'll be applying a little small side flower exactly the same way as I did the encapsulated flowers before. The more you practice your flowers, the better you'll get. These are super easy flowers to start making, as well as lilies and leaves. So start with that first before you move on to more intricate things like giant 3D roses, big bows or skulls, and practice often and it'll get easier, I promise. I'm using Elite Brush on resin and just placing some crystals around the flower. I'm using Crystal AB, this cute little pink color, and some Crystal Clear crystals. I actually don't know the sizes or colors off by heart. I just use Fire Mountain gems and search them from there and just pick my favorite ones. I just applied more crystals all over the set to make them nice and sparkly, as these are her birthday nails. I'm applying Kira Sky non-wipe top coat over all these nails. Don't get top coat on your Swarovski crystals or you'll dull the shine. Fully cure the top coat, and here's the finished result. How cute are these? Check out her thumb. As you can see, that pretty pink net imprint I made before. I hope you guys liked this video, and if there's anything else you'd like to see, let me know in the comments section. Open up the description box to find everything that was used here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!